Just reply with yes or no. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, in the last class we started with evaluation of broadcast media. So just a small recap of previous class. We started with television, okay, evaluation. So what is television? What happens here? We are having visual image, sound, motion, and color. And here it is more of an imaginative and creative media. Then network versus spot advertising. You can buy the whole network, which consists of many channels. Okay, or you can buy space and time in only one channel which you are in requirement of. Okay, so this is network versus spot advertising. Next comes radio. It has evolved from a national advertising medium to a local advertising medium. So why is this called? Earlier there were no TVs, so the whole of nation used to hear to radios only. But now, as the introduction of TVs and multiple hundreds of channels, so the radio is like losing its charm basically. Okay, so now regionally and at times like when you are driving or when you are traveling, people listen to radios, FM, and all those things are there. So it has come from national to local. So the advertising also from national advertising to local advertising. The people who are in that particular locality have their advertisements in this particular radios or FMs. Okay, so as it is persuasive means it is found all around. So you can sit here and if you tune into that particular frequency, you can hear. So there is no cable or anything required. It is present in all the places within that particular range of transmission. Okay, next evaluation of support media. What is support media? So the traditional media we have seen like TV, newspaper, print media, other communications, all. So this is something bit different than that, but it is supporting all those uh, medias. So like traditional media is there out of home, so you are having like in your television and all, you basically watch it in your home. You will read newspaper most of the times at home. So these are something out of home. Like we are having transit, in transits, or when you go out, you will see billboards, you will see signs showing a particular direction, or it is telling you to go there for more information or to buy, so on and so forth. So transit both inside and outside the vehicle. It could be in bus, it could be in train, it could be in aeroplanes. So all these things come under out of home media. So that is transit media, where it could be electronic billboards, okay, electronic messages which are targeted at people who are exposed to commercial transportation facilities, which includes buses, taxis, commuter trains, elevators, trolleys, aeroplanes, and subways, for example. Then types of transit advertisement: inside cards, outside posters, station platform, and terminal posters. So if you see station platform and terminal posters, when you go there, so you will see billboards, you will see some TVs in railway station or in airports or in some airport terminals. You will see some TVs which are playing some advertisements. Okay, where it is with song and images are also played. Okay, many a times. So those are station platform and terminal posters. Next is inside cards. So what is inside cards? They are placed in buses over the seats and at the place where you keep your luggages. Okay. The ability to change the message and the visibility provide the advertiser with a more attention getting medium. As you are traveling, you don't do much of the things. You listen to music, you read newspaper, and you look around, right? So when you are looking here and there, so you could see the ads. So if it is placed in multiple places, so you would see the ads inside. So those are called as inside cards. Next is outside posters. What are outside posters? They appear on the sides, back, and or roofs of buses, taxis, trains, subways, and trolley cars. So it is outside. It will not be inside. So it is outside. The other people who are outside and looking towards this particular train or towards bus or trolley, so those people will be looking at the advertisement. Okay, then technology can ensure relevance of message through adaptation of GPS. So as you know, buses and trains are fitted with GPS where they are So you will get to know like which all areas is being covered by that advertisement. So you can plan accordingly. Then comes non-traditional media, that is branded entertainment. It blends TV and entertainment through TV, film, music, and technology. It is kind of some visual things plus sound. Everything is there. Then comes ways of planning advertisement, product placements, product integration, advertisement, content sponsoring, ad sponsored video on demand. Product placements in soap operas, that is events of 1 hour or 2 hour, where like stand-up comedies and all will be there. So on those places, those are called as soap operas basically. Then in movies, when you're in movie theaters, so before the movie begins and at the time of interval, you see all the ads. So there it is. So those are product placements. Helps in association with celebrity. It cannot be avoided as it is a part of script. And then product integration. Here the product is woven throughout the program and becomes the program itself. So as the advertisement is the main concept here, so what they do is they involve the product or they involve the story thread around the product. Okay, so that's how they do the product integration. Next is advertisement. It is creation of video or music content by advertiser in an attempt to entertain viewers while viewing their products. They should not feel bored just by looking at one poster or one picture. So here some music as well as video is there to entertain while you will be knowing about the product or services. Next comes content sponsorship. Here, rather than developing their own content, advertisers agree to sponsor specific programs receiving product placements. I gave an example of IPL. It is called as Vivo IPL for this particular season. Why? Because Vivo is sponsoring. So there is no product used in the game, but the name comes over there. So here these are done. That is content sponsorship. So everything will be based on whatever they are doing. But as you are a sponsor, so your name comes over there. So you remember. So Vivo IPL. So suddenly when IPL comes, you remember Vivo as well. So that is what is content sponsorship. Then comes ad supported video on demand. They are specialized content programs offered through cable TV networks that are developed by advertisers and provided to the cable operators for free. Some programs which are made based on the products or the services of a particular company. So these will be given free of cost for the operators so that they could show to them. So most content is paid, but this content is free of cost. So there is no issue for the cable operators to show it to them. Okay. Then is guerrilla marketing. So what is guerrilla marketing? Guerrilla marketing is an advertisement strategy in which a company uses surprise, okay, and or bar unconventional interaction in order to promote a product or service. So examples you can see here. So this is a McDonald's ad at a zebra crossing. Yesterday I did not use zebra crossing, but usually it will be white and black. Here it is yellow. Okay, basically a road crossing is there where they have added a cover for McDonald's, which looks like a French fries. The way they serve you. So when you see it, you feel something different. Yes, you remember the product, you remember the name. Okay, there is nowhere written McDonald's, but the symbol makes you understand that it is for McDonald's. So next, you can see advertisement of a bus. Okay, sorry, advertisement of zoo on a bus. Sorry. So you can see a python which is curled around a bus and it is being crushed. But the bus is not crushed. It is just the image on top that it looks like it is being crushed. Okay. So here many a times you if small children see this they want to go to zoo. This is a creative way of attracting the customers to the zoo. Okay. Then this bench which looks like a Kit Kat chocolate. Okay. After wrapper is there. Then the rest is like a Kit Kat bar. So you can directly correlate with Kit Kat. So here the advertisement is done. So the particular bench is kept for sitting. So even that purpose is served. Plus your advertisement is also done. So many people take pictures sitting or standing there. They'll post in their uh, Instagram or any social media. So even plus Here many people see, plus in their post many people will see. Okay, so that is multiple added benefits for having such kind of marketing. Okay, this is called as guerrilla marketing, where you surprise the person who is looking at you. Okay, I think you were surprised in all the three instances where I showed you, like guerrilla marketing where it is used, like on McDonald's, then it was a zoo, then it's a Kit Kat ad, right? So most of us might have not seen, and suddenly it was a surprise to see how it is look, right? So next, we have to start from here for today. So what is creativity? It is the ability to generate fresh, unique, and appropriate ideas that can be used as solutions to communications problem. Right? So you need to be creative, you need to be fresh, you need to be unique. Okay, and you need to come up with solutions where we are having issues with communicating with the customers. Okay, I want to communicate something with the customers that is getting like traditional ways, as in the previous classes, I have told you, like earlier it was 1000 ads per day where a person was going through, but now it is 3000 to 5000 ads, different ads, which a person is going through. It could be many mediums, okay, it could be any medium or combination of mediums. It could be newspapers, it could be radio if you are listening, then it could be your TV or multiple channels, okay. So including all of this, it could be around 3000 to 5000 ads. So how they will remember your ad? So it should be completely different, or it should catch their eyes. It should be catchy, and it should be like put in the head of the customer. Okay, that when they remember something, they should remember your product. Okay, so when they feel that particular need of something, so if your product is there, which is helping it, so they should directly remember your product, right? So that's how it should be creative, fresh, unique. Okay, it should be relevant to target audience. So just like that, you cannot put anything. Okay, it should be relevant. Okay, so who are your target audience? You already have done the segmentation, targeting process, and everything is done. So whom you should appeal? Okay, so those people or that set of segment, you should think of what is their mentality, what age group they are, what they like to see, what kind of things are going around now. So what could be used in a good way to show a particular ad. Okay, that's why it is called as relevant. Okay, relevant plus in the above thing, it should be appropriate. Okay, it should not be anything that is offending someone or somebody is getting hurt by that particular ad. That should not happen. It should be neutral. Okay, plus it should be unique, and it should properly reach the target audience in the intended way of the advertiser. That is what is creativity. Next comes creative process. So here we are having four different things. One is preparation. So what is preparation? Gathering background information needed to solve the problem through research and study. So gathering background information needed to solve the problem. So first you are getting prepared. So you are gathering information. So what all is there to start creating something? Okay. So first get the information regarding the problem. Okay, to solve the problem it is given. So you need to understand the problem, get the background of it, know anybody has attempted to solve it. So what kind of things they have done, okay, whether what percentage was it working. So all these things we are looking into or taking into consideration while preparation. Okay, then comes incubation. So taking all those ideas, keeping them, then bringing out something new. Okay, so getting away with letting ideas develop. So you are coming up with new ideas based on the data that you have gathered in the preparation phase. Okay, that is incubation. So you are getting whatever is there, then coming up with something new. So here it is in this case it is letting ideas develop. You are trying to develop new and better ideas. You are doing mismatch of different things. Okay, you are trying to combine many things. So all these things come into incubation. Then illumination, seeing the light or solution in the sense. So after incubation, you have an idea now. So it might be one idea or multiple. So you are illumination. You are imagining how it comes together. Okay, will it work or no? Okay, so all these things are illumination. You are basically trying to visualize, will it work or no? Okay, how well it works, or will I be meeting any problems in between? So you're thinking so that there would be no hurdles in between while executing it. So that is what is illumination. So you're trying to understand, you are trying to imagine, you are trying to come up with what do you call how well the idea may work basically. So that is illumination. Then verification, refining and polishing the idea and seeing if it is an appropriate solution. So as you are imagining, you'll get so many things. So this might not work. This I have to change. Okay. So based on all these things, you are verifying. You are refining. So do I have to keep that bit, or if I remove it, is it okay? So what changes I need to make? Okay, that is what is refining and polishing the idea and seeing if it is an appropriate solution. Then after creation, you are looking whether it is fitting for the solution or not. Okay, so for example, I'll tell you, if a particular nut or bolt has to be fixed, and you are not having it, and you are having the tools to make it. Okay, so you'll check everything first. You'll gather the information. So how big the nut should be. Okay, so what is the diameter of it? What should be the hole there? Everything you take into consideration. Then you get ideas like how to do it, what material I'm having. Okay, so what should be the size of the hole in the initial stage? Then whether it should be hex head, or hex in the sense six sides, hex head, or how it should be. Then comes illumination. I'll think so it looks like this. Fine. So what all problems may occur? What all things I need again other than what I'm having? So everything is illuminated. Then verification. So if I do this process, so this will be good. That will be good. No, I'm not having this, so I cannot do it. So all these things come there. Then you are fitting it and seeing whether what you have done is right or wrong, whether it is fitting there or not. So that is what is verification. Creative process, 4 points. One is preparation, incubation, illumination, and verification. Okay, this is creative process. Next is importance of headlines and body copy. So you might have seen so many textbooks, many newspapers, magazines. You are having headlines. Okay, so after headline there is body copy. That means the body of the news article. It could be an advertisement, whatever. So what is headline? Headline. It is the words in the leading positional of the ad. Leading position of the ad. That is on top you write at a bigger size relating to what your content would be in the body. So these words will be read first. So usually nobody goes and reads the body copy. They'll first read the headlines. Why? Because it is made in that particular way. You need to read it. So that whether you want to go to the body to read further or no. So that is the first thing. Then they are positioned to draw the most attention. Why? Because the sizes would be big. Okay, so there will be some words written so that it is so catchy that you want to read what is there given in that particular uh, advertisement or body copy. So that means suddenly if you read, okay, the corona numbers are coming down. Okay, this could be the headlines. Then you want to know more. Okay, because as and when if it is coming very less, so the normal life will resume. So we'll go and read. So what has happened? What new development has happened? So why these are coming down? So is there a new vaccine which is introduced, so which is better? So what are the side effects? Everything you want to know that. So reading the headlines will tell you whether you want to read further or not. Okay, then they are positioned to draw the most attention. That is what it is being put in a way where it is drawing attention of a reader. Then they are usually set in large type and are often set apart from the body copy or text portion of the ad to give them prominence. So if you see some many headlines would be bit far, in the sense there is some distance between the headlines and the body copy to make it more attractive, or when you see a newspaper you directly look into the headlines and nothing else. Then they are usually the first thing people look at a print ad. So that's what I told you. Once you see something is written, so something is in bold or in a larger font size, your eyes goes and tries to read it first. So that is what they mean. only 20% of people who read headlines read the body copy. See here there is a statistics given to you. So even in newspaper, many of us only read the headlines and go ahead. If we feel it is interesting, we read the body copy. Otherwise, so that's what the statistic is. Only 20% of the people who read the headline read the body copy. Okay, they must put for the main theme, appeal, and proposition of the ad in few words. So whatever your heading is there, it should be the short form or very condensed form of the body copy. Okay, so body copy will explain what your heading is. It should be like that. So if you see here, importance of headlines and body copy is my headline. So what my headline is telling, so what is the importance of headline and what is body copy. So if you want to know this, we will be reading under this, right? So that is what is a headline. Then comes body copy. Okay, functions of headline is there. So what are the functions of headline? Why it is there? They must attract readers' attention and make them get interested in the rest of the message. As I told you, as and when you are looking at particular thing, whatever is big, first you tend to read it. Okay, then if you feel it as catchy, but sometimes you may not feel it catchy, but the main work of that particular headline is to grab attention of the reader, and he has to move to the body copy. That's how you need to arrange or make use of certain words in the headline so that you basically are drawn towards the body copy. Then they perform the segmentation function by engaging the attention and interest of consumers who are most likely to buy the product. So when you see a certain words, okay, and you are in need of it, so directly you are being positioned or sent towards that particular body copy for you to read it and get more information. So that is what are the functions of headline. Then comes types of headlines. The type of headline used depends on creative strategy. Okay, so what you want to tell, okay, whether that is creative or is there anything that you are giving more information. So more of creative should be there. What strategy you are using. So even the words and the font used would be based on the creativity or creative strategy. Then particular advertising situation. Okay, whether it is product, what kind of product it is, product type, what kind of media vehicle it is, and timeliness. That means for how long it is being shown. So headlines were most looking into only the newspapers or magazines, but even the headlines are on TVs, right? So you see news and all where you can see headlines. That means what is headline? So in the beginning they are telling you, okay, summary of what you will be looking. So you are looking at like it's kind of a executive summary where when you read it, you will get to know in short like what is being there in this particular program, what is being covered. Okay, so those things are there. So if you are interested, you will stay there or you will move ahead or you will wait for your interested thing to come. As in news, if you see, so there will be 10 headlines and there will be explanation for each and everything. So if you like the second or third one, you need to wait for the first and second to finish, then you'll get the third one. So if it is somewhere in seventh or eighth, what you do? You change your channel, you go somewhere else, you see something, then after 5 or 6 minutes you come back. So to check where they have reached, whether they have reached my intended news or not. So those are your particular advertising situation like product type, media vehicle, timeliness. Then relationship to other components of the ad. So how well it is related to your body copy or how well it is related to the product or the service that you are advertising. So based on all these things, the types of headlines are given. So here if you see headlines are categorized as direct headlines and indirect headlines. So what are they? Direct headlines. They are straightforward and informative in terms of the message they are presenting and the target audience they are directed towards. So it is being directly told. So if there is a accident, for example, so there is an accident on this particular road. That is the headline. So it is straightforwardly telling you what is happening. Okay, that is direct headlines. They include those offering a specific benefit. So in general, I'm telling you, but all these things are with respect to the advertisement. Okay, so In terms of advertisement, what they include direct headlines, those offering a specific benefit, 20% off. Okay, that could be the headline. So you are being drawn, stating that okay, 20% off. So I need to check what it is. So you might be in need of something and whether it is related to that or not. Then making a promise. Okay, we promise that our product will not have any issues and it is having a warranty of 5 years. So making a promise, we are promising that nothing will happen, and if something happens, we are there, and it will minimum work for 5 years. That is, if something happens to it for 5 years, we are there. We will do the necessary things to fix it. Then announcing a reason for the reader to be interested in the product or service. Okay, so I gave you the example again, 20% discount or 50% discount. So there is a new product into the market, okay, or some celebrity is coming to your town, okay, or he is performing somewhere. So these are directly announcing a reason for the reader to be interested. Okay, for example, Shah Rukh Khan or it could be Amitabh Bachchan visiting Belgaum. If that is the headlines, so you want to know where he is visiting, why he is visiting, okay, how long he will be there, what he is doing basically. So these are the direct headlines giving the information. Where if you want more information, you go there and read it. Fine. Next is indirect headlines. What are indirect headlines? They are not straightforward about identifying the product or service or getting to the point. Okay. Directly they will not tell. So 20% discount was a direct statement giving you there is a discount of 20%. Okay, huge discounts they'll put. Huge discounts. So what are these huge discounts? We need to read again. So what is the kind of discounts, whether it is direct or indirect or up to or exactly 20%. Okay, so all these things are there. So these are indirect headlines, huge discounts or something like that. Examples. Then they provoke curiosity and lure readers into the body copy to learn an answer or get an explanation. So here I said huge discount. So I want to know now how much is the percentage that I'll be getting on what product. Okay, where it is. So do I have to do something to get it? Do I have to go somewhere? Do I have to fill some forms? Okay, do I have to get something or in exchange? We never know. Okay, so these are some provoking curiosity lines where you want to know more to understand why they have given it. Techniques include questions. Okay, questions examples is, do you know what happens in Belgaum tomorrow? Question mark. So if you want to know, you will read it. Right, then provocations. So if this happens, do you know the result of it? Okay, for example, politically, if you see, so there were some elections few days back. So what happens to our what do you call infrastructure development if this party comes? So they'll write. So these people were doing this, and the next party was chosen earlier party. So will they continue it? We don't know. So all these things are the provocations. Then how to statements. Where it is, they'll give you like, do you know how to repair dents at home? So these are how to statements. It could be anything. How to fix a carburetor. So if you think you are having a problem in carburetor of your car or two-wheeler, so you'll read it. We'll go, we'll try to find more information. So that is how to statements. Okay, how to make what you call how to make a ball, for example, how to make a ball using wood. So just like just an example, it may not be exactly. So this is how the how statements work. Then challenges. So are you up for the challenge? So like for example a marathon or something is there, so are you up for a challenge? So there is a race, cycle race, or it could be a running race, there could be something related to sports or anything for that matter. So are you up for the challenge? They'll give, are you up for the challenge? What is the challenge you want to know now? So there you are going and reading it. Those are indirect headlines where information directly is not being given to you, but on reading it, if you want to know more, you have to go and read the body copy. Okay, that is what is indirect headlines. Then comes subheadings. So you know there are headings and subheadings. So headings are very big and subheadings are smaller than your heading but bigger than your body copy. So we'll see what all are there to see. They are usually smaller than the main headline but larger than the body copy, as I just told you, the first sentence. So you will see the second line just after your headline. There will be something written which is bigger than your body copy, size of body copy, but it is smaller than your headline. So those are called as subheads. They may appear above or below the main headline or within the body copy. Okay, if they want to highlight something, even in the body copy, they can increase the size of it. So those are called as subheads. Or there are different paragraphs stating different things. So what they do, they put subheads over there. Okay, main heading, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. Only the point 1, point 2, point 3, and point 4 will be on a bigger what do you call font than your normal body copy. So those are the subheads. They could be used just after the headlines or even in the body copy. They are used to enhance readability of the message by breaking up large amounts of body copy and highlighting key sales points. So if you see, if there are 10 paragraphs continuously one after the other, so you feel it is very big. So instead what they do, they put subheads at regular intervals, stating that okay, you can read this first. Okay, then if you want, you can take a break or you can continue reading. So it basically breaks up the body copy into different uh, parts. Plus, if anything has to be highlighted, that will be highlighted using the subheads. So they are used to enhance. Okay, 3 points. What they are? They are smaller than the headline, but larger than the body copy. They may appear above, below, or in the body copy. Then they are used to enhance readability so that you are not feeling that sense of what do you call a sense of repeatability. So because all the words and all the sizes of the body copy will be of the same font and the same size. So to make some changes, so this particular subheads are used. Okay, next, body copy. What is body copy? It is the main text portion of the print ad. So where most of the information is given, so it is the main body of the particular advertisement or a particular article. Next, it should be long enough to communicate the advertiser's message, yet short enough to hold the reader's interest. That means you cannot write anything and everything over there. So it should be big enough to fit all the information or all the communication that a particular person is intended to give the reader. It should be not that long that the person who is reading it may feel it is very boring or it is too long and you should not stop it in between. Okay, that should be the size of your body copy. It flows from points made in headlines and subheads. Okay, so basically this contains the explanation of your heading and the subheading. Then specific content depends on type of ad appeal or execution of the style. So the body copy, again you can see there could be one single paragraph, two paragraphs, or it could be split into two. Okay, in two paragraphs it could be in one single ad. So one paragraph complete, then you have to go again on top and again repeat, or the whole thing will be in one single direction. Okay, so it is based on what product or what service or basically what you are intending or what is your strategy of giving. So all these things are very important while having the body copy. So I think we come to the end of module 3. So any difficulty in module 3, students? Anyone, any doubts? Yes, students, anything, any doubts in module 3 so far? Okay, I think there are no doubts. So we'll end our class today. It's almost 4:20. Fine. So in the next class, we'll start with module 4. Okay. Okay, students. Thank you.